This May, Kingstree, South Carolina becomes a place of remembrance and reflection. Join us for a powerful two-day commemoration marking the 60th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 1966 call to march on ballot boxes. Together, we honor the past, examine the promise, and shape the future. Friday, May 8th and Saturday, May 9th, 2026. For more information, contact C. Williams Rush at 803-397-1859.
All right. Good morning and welcome to the War Report, the Daily War Report for March 10th, 2026. We were talking about the American Israeli Iran war, which is slowly becoming expanding throughout the region of the Middle East. And so we're going to get into what the latest is. Again, today I want to welcome you. And apparently, I'm getting some lagging from my. I don't think I am. I think everything's good. Thought my computer was lagging on me a little. Excuse me, a little bit. But yeah, here we are again. Daily report of what's going on in the war against Iran. We have entered into day 11 of this war. Okay, and I want you to keep in mind now that this administration said that this was going to be a quick, you know, pretty much, in and out, and America was going to be victorious in a couple days because we're America, and that's what was supposed to happen. So we're moving into day 11 of this war. The conflict between Iran, the United States, and Israel is now again entered into day 11 since the initial joint strike on February 28th, targeting Iranian military and nuclear infrastructure. And they keep putting this out there, but they've been attacking Iran's nuclear infrastructure for years and years and years and years and years. So obviously, they must have the biggest infrastructure, but still haven't been able to produce a nuke. Fighting continues across multiple fronts. Heavy, heavy airstrikes in Iran, inside Iran, missile and drone attacks across the Middle East, naval confrontations in the Persian Gulf. Again, this thing is it's sold to us as, hey, it's going to be over in a couple days and we'll be out of there, but it's not working out this way. In fact, the Iranians have turned down a ceasefire deal. Okay, again, I talked about this whole thing with the missiles and the interceptors that the Israel and their different partners have, and the fact that Iran is able to produce more missiles than Israel and America can produce those interceptors. So if this war continues for a protracted amount of time, just by that fact alone, Israel is going to be in trouble in that region over there. So the thought of Israel using a nuclear bomb is definitely on the table if this war continues. Okay, the most intense bombing of the war, reports indicate that overnight strikes in Tehran were among the heaviest of the conflict so far, with dozens killed near the capital during the bombardment. U.S. and Israeli forces have reportedly hit over 5,000 military targets during the campaign, destroyed missile sites, radar systems, and naval vessels. Military officials say today could be the most intense day of strikes yet. So obviously, there is no peace talks nowhere near in nowhere. And Iran is dialed in because I think what they're saying is why would we stop right now when as soon as we stop and go into peace and have peace talks, America and Israel going to launch a sneak attack. You know what I mean? Because I thought they were supposed to be in talks when this thing here launched off, and then with the rhetoric and the talk, you know what I mean? They say they're gonna kill all these people, and all you gotta do is put the word terrorists in front of some of the people you're talking about, and that gives you the right to just kill them indiscriminately, young, old. You know, you could be 7 years old. Your ass is part of Hamas. And I guess they say, well, if you ain't now, you will be. So this war is going to continue to escalate, and they're talking about ground troops, a ground war. Right? I know that I heard this through the news that the 82nd Airborne has been mobilized, not sent yet, but they're on call, and that unit can be on the other side of the globe in a matter, you know, sunrise. So this thing is definitely escalating. Again, Iran has responded with new missiles and drone strikes targeting Israel, U.S. bases in the Gulf countries, Bahrain, Kuwait, and other regional allies. There's reportedly about 2 million Americans stuck, because there's a lot of Americans that live in that region. But there's reportedly about 2 million of them that's stuck over there and trying to get out of the region, like to get to Greece to be able to get a flight back here. I think the only way out is through private jet, and from what I'm hearing, that's running at about $300,000. So you got people that are literally stuck there. And from what I found out now is that there was no warnings given to the people. You know, this was Israel was like, I heard America was like, well, we're gonna wait, you know, and Israel was like, you wait, we're gonna shoot. So here we go. All right, and so what does this mean for us back here on the good old soil of America? Because this thing here keeps talking. We keep talking about this specific place right here, and it's the Strait of Hormuz. And again, I encourage you to, if you haven't already, go watch some videos on it and see why this place is. Anytime we get into conflict with Iran in the Middle East, you hear about the Straits of Hormuz and why it's important to us here in America. Again, the strategic Strait of Hormuz. I don't know if I'm saying that right tonight. The world's most important oil shipping route is now essentially shut down for commercial traffic. Key impacts: about 20% of the world's oil supply nearly passes through the strait. Tanker traffic has collapsed by about 95% since the war began, which means for the people of Iran and people in that region, their goods come through there. Pretty much 100% of their goods come through that strait. We talking basic essentials. We talking things that they that they have to have imported in. They come in through that strait. So, and you got countries that depend on Iranian oil and Iranian goods that are going to suffer as long as that strait is like that. Iran has warned no one liter of, excuse me, not 1 liter of oil will leave the region if attacks continue. And that's that thing that they have had over us for a long time, is that oil. And for those who don't know, the United States dollar, petrodollar, is tied, is the value of our dollar is tied to what's happening in that region when it comes to that oil and how it flows. And so did not look before I came on or what's the price of oil per barrel right now. But give me one quick second and I can find some information on that, because there is definitely a global shock when gas prices just shoot up in that way. All right, here we go. Energy markets are reacting strongly to what's going on over there in the streets of Hormuz in this war. Oil prices recently surged near $120 a barrel. I think 3 days ago, I was at $90 a barrel when I was talking about it. So it's escalating fast. The disruption is affecting airlines, shipping, agriculture, and manufacturing. Experts warn this could become one of the biggest energy shocks in decades if the strait remains closed. And now, we're in America. We're approaching the spring break season, which is usually the start of vacation. You're gonna have the kids out and all that good stuff. So, better keep in mind of what. Pay attention. Keep your eyes on what's going on, or make sure you just check in here every day for the war report. Um, it would be nice if you hit that like button so that we could bring more people to this information. Again, they're talking about a draft now too, also. So for those of you with military age children, young children, you may want to be concerned about what is being said when it comes to this war and reinstating the draft and all that other good stuff. And I think Barron Trump is draft age, so as a sign of solidarity, I'm sure that Trump will register him first. I know he's registered for selective service. He better be. Okay, major developments today. What are we talking about? Y'all even know? Yep. Major developments today. A senior Iranian official. Also, what I didn't announce is that the Iranians have named a new Ayatollah, a new Ayatollah Khomeini, and this is the son of the former Ayatollah who was just killed a couple of days ago by American airstrikes. A senior Iranian official issued threats directly toward the United States president online. I don't think it's a threat when you're defending yourself. Iran's leadership is rallying domestic support with mass demonstrations in Tehran backing the new supreme leader. Because it was said that that the people of Iran wanted a regime change. This is what the Israeli and United States propaganda was in selling this war, telling people that no, they want this. And once we kill them, you're going to see the people, they're going to welcome us as liberators. Remember, we heard that same story in Iraq? The U.S. has warned Iran it will escalate dramatically if shipping lanes remain blocked. And what does that mean dramatically? Exactly. What does that mean exactly? Because see, this administration promised, and this is why they were elected in, um, mainly because they promised no more foreign wars, no more forever wars. And so Trump has proven to be uh, a bitch when it comes to Israel and what Israel wants. you think it's going to be any different with any other president, I don't know. I don't know that I don't think I agree with that one. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get out of here. Right now, the war shows no signs of stopping. And the key risk as this thing escalates are the expansion into a larger regional war, which I think it has. I think it has, according to some sources that are not based in the U.S., because it's just parroted talking points from Fox, CNN, all of them. It's all scripted. It's all bullshit. Global oil crisis, which we're heading there fast. Oil again is at $120 a barrel. The potential involvement of other powers. I think this is inevitable, and I think this is what Iran wants. But in Washington, say the campaign could still end soon. Of course, he got to say that because he's an asshole and he says things, and you got to try to make it work. If Iran backs down, and that's not going to happen, obviously, though both sides continue fighting for now. So I think what the Iranians understand is that America has no stomach for a large body count. And, this talk of a ground war, because the administration is calling for total surrender. Last time them kind of words were used is when they dropped that bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Maybe that's what they're suggesting. I know that's what the Israelis want. But anyway, there it is. Your war report for March 10th, 2026. Again, like, share, subscribe. We out.